Her boot stopped inches from the officer's neck, close enough that the fabric of his collar fluttered from the force of displaced air. Dust lifted from the asphalt like a hell breath. Sunlight cut sharply across the street, catching the edge of her uniform. The muscles in her leg taut with perfect control. Phones were raised everywhere. Dozens of them. A ripple of gas moved through the crowd, followed by a stunned silence, so complete that even the traffic noise seemed to pause. A city that never stopped. To the people watching, it looked like violence about to happen. To those who understood combat, it was something else entirely. Precision. Just seconds earlier, the street had been loud and ordinary. Downtown San Diego buzzed with life. Buses groaning to a stop. Scooters weaving through traffic. Food carts releasing clouds of grilled meat and spices into the warm air. Office workers crossed intersections with coffee in hand. Tourists argued over directions. Street musicians tuned guitars. Then the barricades had gone up. Public demonstration. The sign read, joint training. Community awareness. Most people expected handcuffs, maybe shields. Nobody expected this. She had stepped into the open space calmly, adjusting the brim of her cap. Light blue training uniform. No visible weapon. Her posture straight, shoulders relaxed, eyes scanning, not nervously, but thoughtfully, like someone memorizing a room. A woman near the curb whispered, "Is she military?" A man beside her zoomed in on his phone. Special forces, maybe. The officer across from her stood firm, experienced, broad-shouldered. He'd volunteered for the demo. He knew the rules. He trusted the training. Still, he hadn't expected her to move that fast. One step, a pivot, then the jump. Now, time itself seemed unsure what to do. Her eyes were locked forward, focused not on his face, but on a point just past him. That's how real fighters worked. Never emotional, never reactive, just exact. The crowd saw power. The military instructors watching from the side saw restraint. She lowered her legs smoothly and landed without a sound. Only then did the city remember how to breathe. Someone let out a long whoa. Another laughed nervously. A bus horn blared in the distance, impatient with the pause in reality. The officer exhaled and nodded once, a quiet acknowledgement between professionals. She turned slightly toward the crowd. "I didn't touch him," she said, voice steady, American accent clear. "Because the goal isn't to hurt. It's to control the moment before it gets out of control." Her name was Captain Elena Ward. Most people didn't know it yet. By nightfall, millions would. Elena hadn't planned on fame. She'd grown up far from cameras, in a small Midwestern town where discipline meant finishing chores before sunset and respect meant listening more than speaking. Her mother had served. Her father had trained police recruits. Dinner conversations were about responsibility, not glory. She joined the military young, not to prove she was strong, but because she believed strength should be useful and quiet. That belief was why she now stood in the middle of a city street, under a sky so blue it looked unreal, teaching strangers without raising her voice. A teenager pushed forward. "Ma'am, were you scared?" Elena considered the question honestly. "No," she said. "I was prepared." That answer spread faster than the video. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Slow motion edits, reaction videos, freeze frames of her boot hovering near the officer's neck. Comment sections exploded. Fake. Staged. She could have killed him. That's control. That's terrifying. That's impressive. By evening, national news picked it up. By morning, the Pentagon was answering questions. But Elena? She was already back on base, lacing her boots before sunrise, the same way she always did. Fame didn't change training schedules. Still, something had shifted. Recruits watched her differently now. Instructors spoke her name with new weight. And when she walked past the training yard, conversations paused, not out of fear but respect. A week later, she was asked to speak again. Another city, another crowd. This time, the crowd was bigger. She stepped forward as cameras rolled. The memory of that frozen kick still vivid in everyone's mind. She could feel expectations pressing in from all sides. So she addressed them directly. "You saw 1 second," she said. "One move, One moment. She let that sink in. But what you didn't see was the years behind it. The mornings when quitting would have been easier. The discipline when nobody was watching. The choice to stay calm when adrenaline is screaming. She paused, scanning the faces, young, old, skeptical, inspired. Strength isn't about domination, she continued. It's about responsibility, especially when you have power. The applause this time wasn't explosive. It was steady, solid, the kind that meant people were thinking. That night, Elena stood alone on a quiet overlook, city lights glowing below like scattered stars. Her phone buzzed with messages she hadn't answered, interviews she hadn't accepted. She watched traffic flow, orderly and chaotic all at once. Control, she thought, didn't mean stopping motion. It meant guiding it. Somewhere downtown, someone replayed the video again, the kick, the freeze, the moment that made the internet hold its breath. But Elena remembered something else. The silence right before the applause. The look in the officer's eyes, not fear, but trust. The feeling of choosing restraint when power was absolute. That was the real moment, not the kick. And long after the video faded into the endless stream of viral clips, that lesson stayed. Etched into a city street, a crowd's memory, and the quiet discipline of a soldier who never needed to prove herself again. Because the strongest strike she ever made stopped just short.